So here we are, part 2 of the old original Mark I Hunter. So if you follow along with part 1, we're going to move forward. If you've just joined the channel or the video, then thanks for coming along. And in essence, what we're doing, just a bit of a recap. We're taking a dirty old piece of spring steel, like these two blades here. You can see how far we've got, those ones there, and we're turning it into one of these, or a couple of these. So that's what the video is all about. And yeah, where are we up to? I've decided to give it a bit of a hand sand. I've got two blades. I've roughly ground them out, put the bevels on, and hardened and tempered them. So I've decided, and I'll do some close-ups in a minute, to finish, to leave the old crap and corruption there, a bit of the pitting and everything, just for heritage's sake or whatever. And so now we're going to move forward, and hopefully in this video we can get to putting the handles on. So yeah, hand sanding, that's what we've got to do next. So that's going to take a few hours, no doubt. Yeah, we all love a bit of hand sanding. If you're new to making knives and yeah, hand sanding, what do you need to know? There's plenty of videos online, but one thing I will say is if you've got the money, well, that's not really that expensive, to be fair, but you want to get some of this red stuff, Rhino Wet, made in Portugal. Excellent sandpaper, and I haven't really got any left, but if you can get it, because that'll make your hand sanding a lot easier and a lot better. And yeah, use your sandpaper like it's cost nothing, because don't just keep flogging it out on worn sandpaper. But yeah, so with that said, we'll get into this part of the video, part 2, like I said. We'll get the hand sanding done, and then we'll start looking at the handles, yeah? So yeah, for the sake of the video, I'm just going to try to get in as close as I can so you can see the surface finish. That one there, which came off the Everton Ashby, I don't know if you can see, it's got a few lines running through here, sort of thing. It's not too bad though, but yeah, that's how that came off of that. So if you're wondering what the old Everton Ashby, what I'm talking about, have a flick back through part 1 and you'll see what I mean. So that's how that came off there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hand sand that down. Like I said, I'm running out of sandpaper, but I'll do the best I can with a bit of 180. I'd normally start at 270 grit and work my way down to about 400. But for these knives, really, it's not that crucial, to be fair. So what I'll do now, I'll flip that over so you can get a look at the old, where I'm up to with the 180, which is just yeah, about half an hour of doing it. So yeah, because the old Everton Ashby's only got a 3-inch contact wheel, you can see there that there's some low spots in it there. There's one there and one around about the tip. So I'm not too concerned about it, not too worried. If I went right through the grits with the hand sanding, I could get all that out, but it's a huge amount of work. So that's what's come off there. That's only about half an hour of the 180. So I'm getting there, and I'll take another couple of hours to get that one finished. But yeah, just so you can get a comparison and see what's sort of going on if you're new to this sort of thing. So what I'll do now, I'll stick in the other one, which came off the 5-inch, and we'll have a look and see if we've got any lumps and hollows in that one. So if you can see that clear enough, hopefully you can. I'm in as close as I can get, but yeah, that's the one that I ground up with a 5-inch grinder with the flexible best touch wheels and the flap wheels. You can see there's no actual hollows or humps in there at all. So to be honest, in my opinion, looking at it there, it's made actually a better job. But yeah, personal preference, I guess. But yeah, it's quite good. The profile's a little bit different, as I said in part 1, because I nicked it here, caught it with the grinding wheel, which you can do when they're new. You need to really knock the edge off them first, but yeah, that's another story. So yeah, that's where we're up to. So from here, I'll get stuck into that hand sanding and we'll get that part done. So yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I did a little bit of hand sanding and then yeah, decided I'd go back to the old Abbott and Ashby, which I've been rabbiting on about in the last video and this one too. This here being the Abbott and Ashby, the 200mm or 8-inch industrial bench grinder. I'm still keeping these old knives as to the heritage because it's one of the first pieces of equipment. Like I said, I added to my little garage here. It's a great little machine. Bear in mind, I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I can say whatever I like, and that's exactly what I do. So yeah, it's a great machine. If you aren't familiar with them, it's just relative sort of cost, I guess, for them, but it's got a 2-inch sanding belt on this end. I think it's 9-15mm, but similar to a 2x72 in the fact that you can get a variety of belts to go on there. And they come standard as grinding wheels on each end. And this one here I got with this sanding belt package on it. On this end had a grinding stone. What I've done is taken that off and put on a spindle. So what that does is allows me to do what you've probably just seen is I put on a variety of, move stuff around here a bit, of these flap wheels, if you can see that focused, don't know. And that's what I'll do for polishing it. So I've gone here for the 60, then I've gone to the 120, then I've gone to 180. Yeah, still takes quite a long, fair while to polish these up, probably half the time it would take to hand sand it. And then I've gone to the old Scotch-Brite finish type thing here. I normally do my knives to a Scotch-Brite finish due to the fact that I put a lot of time and effort into them when I'm making them, get them as good as I can always. But yeah, that's about as far as it goes. Once I start using them, yeah, I still keep the rust and stuff off them, but I use them and I use them hard out. They'll get a thrashing once they get stuck in the pocket and taken down the river and doing whatever I do with them. So then I can just get a bit of green Scotch-Brite, this here being green Scotch-Brite, and I can just clean up the surface and keep them, yeah, pretty good condition. Good enough anyway. So that's what you sort of do there. So it's quite simple really too. You can put on these polishing mops, which are relatively low cost. You just have to be really careful with these cloth ones because they, yeah, you'll note you keep it sort of, you know what I mean. If you're going like that, you'll catch and that'll rip the blade out of your hands. So you've got to be a little careful with that. You do need to take a bit of care when you're polishing here. I have had my fingers wound when I was an apprentice, but that's another story. So yeah, great little machine. That's what I've used. That they've come up pretty good. You can see that. Pretty happy with them there. One thing also I will note, you do need to have a reasonably flat surface once you start sticking it on there because that's only a 3-inch contact wheel and you saw those little hollows and humps that I had before. I've got most of those out with a hand sanding and then I brought it over to here because these wheels, well naturally you'll know more about it than I do probably, but because they're round, if you're trying to chase out humps and hollows, they'll just yeah, accentuate them really. They won't get them out if it's not flat. So you'll note too that I keep moving. I don't focus on one point because otherwise that'll put a hollow in it too. But yeah, these have come up pretty good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, so without much more jibber jabber, I think what we'll do now is we'll go and etch on a maker's mark. So what we're doing here, we're just etching on the maker's mark, going back to my roots as it were. Before the days I had a little stencil maker. So what I've done, I used to use nail polish, but that's gone dry too. So I've just put some Galv paint or anti-rust sort of paint on there anyway, some paint, and just scratched out my maker's mark in there. You want to try to do that before the paint goes hard. It makes it a little bit easier. But so yeah, that's what we're doing. So I'm just using a battery charger, which I already had years ago. The old 4x4 alternator wasn't working. I had to charge a battery every time I went to the river fishing. So here we go, what we're going to do. Got that going. I've just got vinegar and salt and a bit of gauze on this electrode thing. You don't want it too wet, but we'll give it a go. I've got a little video on there about how I do it if you're interested somewhere. But yeah, we'll just try her out, and see what happens. Don't know how good it'll be because I've left a bit of the pitting and everything on there, so normally I do it onto a smooth surface. I'll probably never get all this paint out of this pitting, but that doesn't matter to me either. So we'll give that a bit of a scrub off, see what we come up with here. So if you can see that in the video, first one I did there, yeah, too much crap and corruption there to be fair. Total disaster, can't even see it. But there you go. The second one, not too bad. If you can see that, got my maker's mark on there, so that'll do. Yeah, you live and learn. And yeah, so from there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually get a stencil, break from tradition a little bit, and I'm going to put a stencil, try and get it on the smooth part here. It's not really where I want to put it, but it's the best I'll be able to do. So that's what I'm going to do. So from there, yep, I'll do that, and that's that. No, change my mind again. Got a stencil here. I'm going to put the stencil and see if I can actually get a mark on that crap and corruption sitting up there. It's exceptionally hard to see these little things that come off the Brother P touch. But anyway, we'll give it a go. It's all in. No, it's too close. All in the name of science and experimentation, just to see what I can do, what I can get away with and what I can't. So I'll stick that on there and give her another lash with the old etching machine. See what comes up. Absolute waste of time. Rightio, one more try at this with the etching that there. Bit of a perplexement to be fair. Never had this happen before. But anyway, it's all living and learning. It may end up being a knife without a maker's mark. But you get that. Alright, last attempt. You're probably getting bored with this. And hopefully it hasn't got us beaten. Let's go. That'll do. Righty potato, what do we got? Went a bit long, but never mind, we got it. So obviously, you didn't already know that, but you probably did. Got to have a smoother surface to get it working on. Do a little close up so you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, all learning. So yeah, that took a little longer than I had hoped for, but all learning, all good stuff. You can see that one there, which I did with a stencil, breaking from tradition as it were. Yeah, it's come up not too bad. I went a bit long, got a little bit of pitting around it, but that's all good. This one here, which is you've just seen, I did with the paint and everything else, but far too much pitting up here. Like I say, all learning, so it's all good. Didn't really want to put that down there, but never mind. It is what it is. I'm happy with where we're at. So from here, we'll move on and we'll start looking at the handles here. Righty-ho, so we're on to the next stage. Got my blades where I'm happy with them. Going there, got them taped up. Got a maker's mark on them. Got them hardened and tempered. All the rest of it you've seen. There's one there and one there. So now I'm going to move on to looking at the handles here. You might be able to see, you might not be able to see there. I'm going to try for a stacked leather handle. First one ever. Stack of leather there, offcuts from when I make sheaths and so forth. Kept them, thinking of having this in mind. So made myself an improvised little punch, punching out the holes and slipping them on. Not sure which one will be which, but probably that one will be that one, yeah. I'll go on there like that. So I'm going to put a front finger guard on. If we look at the original, this one here, that one's got aluminium on the front there. And that one's actually got stainless welded on the back, but I'm not going to go that way this time, I don't think. So I've scunged this old ratty piece of brass out of the rubbish. found that about 8mm thick. I'll try and put that on the front, and I've cut these little bits here for the back on there like that. And so one of them be a stacked leather handle, and one of them be this purple stuff, this hardwood, but I'm not sure what that is. But anyway, like I said, I'm not the best hidden tang maker in the world, but get better as we go. So without much more talking about it, we'll get stuck into it. Don't know which one I'll start first, but you'll see in the video. I'll probably start by punching all these little things out here. So hopefully the video doesn't get too long, or I might split it into 3 parts, who knows. But anyway, we'll get on with it, eh? Yeah. So yeah, here we are. This is where we're at. I'm going to wrap this one up and call it part 2. But yeah, just looking at where we're at. So the old original Mark 1 Hunter and the other 2 bits and everything you've been seeing. So I've punched all these holes in here with my improvised punch. Just sort of, yeah, done the job. So that's all good. A few little bit extra bits of leather there just in case I get things wrong. I've cut out this, whatever it is. It's a hardwood, but not sure what it is. But anyway, that's going to be the handle for this one here. I've got the old brass bits there, a little bit thin. Hopefully they work. You'll check that out in part 3 if you get that far. They need a bit more of a face-off and a polish, but yeah, we're getting there. What was I up to? Yeah, so yeah, one thing I'm going to have to do is figure out a way to clamp all this up tight. When I put it on, I'm going to try to avoid using epoxy, stick the handles on, but we'll see how we go in the next video. Yeah, this one here, like I said, I've actually clamped, squeezed that on there and put a bit of a weld around the end. It's not ideal. I've made another one of these before where I've actually slotted that out, put a 5mm nut and welded that in. So I may do that on that, but I don't know. Jury's out on that one. So yeah, that's where we're up to. So yeah, going to do a little outro and call it a day. So yeah. So yeah, that's part 2, and we'll bring that to a close. Yeah, a lot more work than I really thought in the beginning, and you can, yeah, as you've seen, I had a few issues with the old Maker's Mark there and the crap and corruption. Yeah, really didn't mark it, but that's a good thing about knife making. If you want to get into it, is you never stop learning. You know, never gets boring for me anyway. So yeah, we got there in the end. So anyway, we're almost there. For you can look forward to part 3 and the final push to try and get it done. We should have everything here we need. As you can see, we're up to the stacked handle. Use the old improvised punch thing I made, and that got through there all right. So we've got that going there. I've got some hardwood there, like I said. I don't know what it is, but I should really label it when people give it to me, because I instantly forget as soon as I get home. So we've got our 2 blades. I've got my brass pieces here. You've just seen all that anyway. So yeah, that's part 2. We'll call it a close there, and yeah, I'll keep working on part 3. But before the video becomes 40 days and 40 nights long, yeah, you can look forward to part 3, like I said. And I hope this video's found you safe and well, and whatever you're doing in life brings you joy. So thanks for coming along, and yeah, hope you're having a good day.